Yeah, so they say Toyko Jetz. She pretty much got a lot of backlash. A video came out with her. She was choking her, playing with somebody, uncle or somebody in the house. And she made a comment like she was going to George Floyd him. And she just came out and apologized. And I asked, I think people, I understand the frustrations with it. But I think with a lot of stuff that goes on in your house, there's some stuff that you say that we understand for it's bad timing. It's totally bad timing. But it's some stuff in your house, whoever recorded that, you need to get them out of your circle because there's some things that people say in their house that if other people heard, it'd be like, oh man, wow, they talk. But it's in the house stuff, it's certain things that somebody that you might say something and they know you don't mean no harm, but if somebody else heard it, not even just this situation, that they might hear it and be like, oh, that they just playing, but somebody else here is like, oh man, they might look at you a totally different way. So, but it's like in house the same way, with males, locker room talk, certain things that you say. Now, definitely not the time to be joking about that, but at the same time, I would just say my biggest advice to her is tighten your circle up and just be more mindful, because ultimately I believe everybody just trying to come together. And the reason I'm not just coming hard at her is because I like to try to believe that most people are good people, and sometimes we have bad moments. And just because we have bad moments, we don't just toss you out for making one mistake. Now if you have a consistent line of making certain mistakes, that's when we begin to evaluate and come together and group think a process on you repairing the consistently of bad mistakes or bad choices, poor choices in words, poor choices in actions. And that starts just at home when you working with your kids, your nieces, your nephews, younger brothers, sisters, or just self. But so I don't think it was necessarily meant to be how it may come off. I don't think necessarily she probably had any malice or lack of understanding for the situation. I think it was just one of those things like you might have in a locker room, you saying something, but you just playing. It was poor timing for something to come out like that publicly, and you can say poor timing to even joking like that in the house because it's a very serious situation. But again, none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. I didn't listen to the apology, but she has come out and apologized. And I just would say tighten up your circle, get the right people around you, and just be more mindful in the future. Be more mindful of what's going on. Be more empathetic in the future of what's going on. And even in private, you got to start conducting yourself certain ways because it's just a more serious time in the world. So that's my advice for the situation. Again, I like to try to see, some people like to point to everything negative somebody do. I like to point to if you have more positive moments and one negative. I'm not just going to say, oh man, that ain't a real person no more. Or you did something for me 10 times and 11th time you say no. I'm not just going to throw you out the window and say, oh, you ain't real. I'm not one of them type people. I like to be like, all right, well, 10 other times he said this or she said or this person said, 10 other times they did something for me, but just this 11th time they didn't. That's cool. All right. So that's more my mentality, my approach when looking at people. I try to look at the positive side. So that's my overall view on Toyko Jetz. Let me know what you think about it. How would you handle the situation? Like, share, subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and definitely clean up your circle. Just for everybody who's tuned in, make sure you got solid people around you, because somebody around you with your best interest, with you being on a major platform that she's on, they wouldn't put something out like that. So just be mindful that everybody around you doesn't have your best interests at heart. Even if they felt some type of way, they could have sat you down and talked. Y'all could have spoke about that in private. It didn't have to go out to the world and try to destroy your career or put you in harm's way, because we understand how serious saying something like that could cause you physical harm in today's time. It's a wild time. So just be safe. Um, Again, for her, work on your empathy, work on your circle, work on your understanding, and just maybe get more in tune with history. Maybe watch Hidden Colors 1 and 2 so you can really tap in. You might just not have the, full scope, but again, we all have room to grow.